Welcome back to the Jacksonville Buzz. I'm Steve Strum. This morning we have Michelle Poitier from Michelle Spez. Good morning.
Good morning.
You knew I was going to say it right. So it's been a minute since I've seen you.
Yes, it has.
So for folks that may not know what Michelle Spez is all about or what Michelle speaks about, you being Michelle,
right?
Tell us a little bit about who you are, your organization. I know you got some cool stuff coming up.
Right.
Let everybody know. What is it? Tell me about Michelle Spez.
So Michelle Spez with a Z. If you hide it, you can't heal it. Is a life recovery coach organization. We do a lot of empowerment events, workshops, one-on-one coaching, just things to help women that have encountered adversity find their way back to living their ideal life. That's basically what we do in a nutshell.
So when you say adversity, as a female business professional,
right,
that can come in many different forms, right? You know, from when you grow up, obviously those are some issues, whether there's gender issues, whether there's racial issues, whether there's sexual trauma. What type of issues do you help women find their way back from, or all in?
So no, not all in. Childhood trauma, domestic assault, sexual assault, military sexual trauma, and mental health challenges secondary to trauma.
Got it. So that's a very specific. It's surrounding the trauma side, as people are, and it's a very interesting thing because oftentimes people think, oh, well, they're kids, they'll be okay, they'll forget about it. But oftentimes, what they find is that children, as they look at themselves in the mirror, create an imprint.
Yes.
And one of the organizations that I support called Plan Like a Girl was actually designed around a woman that goes through puberty may not look like they look as an adult.
Right.
But in their mind, they will see whether the bottom got too big, too quick, the top got whatever grew disproportionately to the rest of them. In their mind, that's what they see.
Right.
And I would imagine that in trauma, those are similar things that they look at themselves in the mirror and they can go back to, whether it's a smell or a scar, internal and external,
it takes them back.
Right back to where they were, and they kind of crumple.
Right.
So how do you help them come back to be able to participate in society and realize that everybody's not bad?
So I help them to identify the barriers that have got them bound, and identify in the shame of silence that's associated with those barriers, and then help them to restore their voice in various ways, either through our Foundation of Freedom program or the Heal the Hurt or the Moving Beyond Pain. But basically it's talk therapy, but it's also interactive, helping them to reconnect with themselves, the Creator, and their friends, family, and loved ones.
That's fantastic. I mean, there's so many things. You said the shame of silence, right?
Right.
We don't talk about a lot of that stuff, at least historically. Nowadays, it's a little bit more socially acceptable to talk about issues. But when they have that, they hold that, and then people look at them and say, well, what's wrong with you? And of course, the response that they want to say is, well, where do you want to start? Where in the actual, what they say out loud is, well, nothing. And so that could not only just have the previous trauma, but then it can perpetuate itself over and over and over and over and over again because they can't get the healing from the source.
Exactly.
Kind of pretty close, right?
Pretty close.
I do try to do some research on you, and of course that's something that I've known you for a little while, so it's kind of like an evolution.
Right.
So as we are moving into now seeing in people in person again, which I know is definitely different than it's been over the last couple of years.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that your organization has going on with some events that you have coming up.
Right. So we just did our first post-pandemic event last month, the beginning of April, the Art of Reconnection Wellness Gathering, just helping people understand how to reconnect with their Creator, whoever they serve, themselves and their friends, family, and loved ones. And so that was a phenomenal success. So we're doing quarterly events called the Restore Her Series. So our next event coming up in June 18th is the Restore Her Series, the Art of Reconnection, just continuing helping them to learn how to reconnect, not only with the community, but themselves and their Creator.
Understood. So one of the things that is obviously unique is, you talk about in-person events. We are in a new era.
Yes,
I think the term is IRL, in real life. When we do appointments now, it's like, are they real appointments like this? You're right there, or are we behind the screen? And that obviously could probably, given your client base, that could have really spiked issues with trauma because domestic battery, that's off the charts over the last 2 years. Divorce rates are up, all kinds of stuff. So women that may have had problems, now it's personified. If people want to find out how to participate with your organization. On June 18th, you have an event.
Right.
Where's it at?
So they can find me information about the event and RSVP at www.michellespeaks.com. And it has all the information, the venue, the location, what we're going to be, what they can expect, what they can expect to take away. So it's just going to be a phenomenal time. And this is a thing, being able to reconnect in person, the greatest desire of humankind, I believe, is we have three greatest desires: to give and to receive love, to be seen and to be heard, and to connect. It's hardwired within our DNA. So,
and it's hard to from a computer
Right,
screen. I mean,
right.
it's awesome to see you in person.
Right.
I can just I literally poke you. But then also people, just regular people, are having
Right.
problems with the reconnection humanistically.
Right.
So if people want to find out more, check out your website, give you a call. Next quarterly event's June 18th.
June 18th.
And thank you for coming in person, IRL,
Right.
to come in to see us today.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed being on,
And
Steve.
anytime you want to come in, talk about a new event, we'd love to have you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Guys, thanks for joining us on the Jacksonville Buzz. If you like us, share us, and remember, live with gratitude.